Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
So I got the phone call, and now today we have 3 squad cars. We probably have 6 police officers and 1 active investigator because of a pastor who wants to hold church for people. He wants to bring the word of God, bring peace, bring hope, bring joy in these times of trouble. This is the Calgary Police Service response to that.
I'm just here doing my job, ma'am.
So you get paid to persecute Christians?
We get paid to do our job, yes. Yep.
For a paycheck.
Shame.
Whether they happen to be Christian or not.
Shame on you. Shame on all of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shame on you.
And you know what? I realize that.
You know.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you guys, police on guard for thee. You know, the problem is Canada has become communist, and they're using you guys as their stronghold.
Right.
And I think that's atrocious. Okay. And I want you to know that there's like-minded police officers out there. So we thank God. I'm still a free man, but we'll see what happens from here on out. God bless you guys. Keep up the good fight, you know. Thank you, Fight the Fines, rebelnews.com, Sarah Miller, and I want to thank Pastor Arthur Pawlowski for plowing the way ahead on this.
Adam Sauce here for Rebel News, and we've just learned that Pastor Peter Reicher was served notice this morning. He was presented with documents, not even given the opportunity to read them, and then threatened with jail if he didn't sign. Pastor Peter kept his cool, though. He called Sarah Miller, and she insisted that this order doesn't apply to him, so there's no damage in signing it. There's no point going to jail. It's better that he be able to remain out and continue to fight his fight. We're going to continue to bring you updates, but as the story develops, we did have the opportunity to record the live stream of the police encounter with Pastor Peter Reicher. We'll jump to that now.
How you doing, sir?
Hi.
Yeah, can you identify yourself for the record,
Yeah,
please?
you bet. I'm Constable Patrick Fellman, Regimental 5465.
And yourself, sir?
Constable Reicher, Regimental 5071.
So I understand you had a phone call, they explained to you what's going to happen? Or...
So you've come to give me a court summons, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So basically, it's founded on June 5th that you breached a court order. Anyway, that's why we're here.
Which court order, please?
From the Chief Justice, J. Rooke.
So the Rooke order?
Yes. So basically what we're here is just to provide you with what's called an undertaking for an appearance in court where you can challenge, obviously, the offense or charge. Are you willing to do that?
So I find that the whole thing to be outrageous. I find that, we were holding church service outside to try and comply with the orders, because inside, obviously, we weren't allowed to have anybody,
right.
Or it was 10 people or something like that.
Okay.
And we just can't facilitate a church that way, so we held it outside to comply with the orders.
And honestly, Peter, I'm just here to provide you with the document, right?
So
but
is this a good use of Calgary resources? I was just reading that they've defunded you guys some.
I guess there's 4 of us here, so. I guess we're not defunded yet. So, are you okay if we
So you're saying that this is where our tax money is going? For you guys to, be chasing ministers of the gospel instead of criminals?
So I agreed with the investigator.
No, that's exactly what you're doing.
I agreed with the investigator, but I will accept this under protest.
Absolutely. This is not an admission of guilt. This is just that you accept to go to court on July 20th, and for a fingerprint on Wednesday, July 7th.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then there's a condition of release that you will follow the advice by all Alberta Chief Medical Officer or of health orders and guidelines.
I'm not sure I could sign that. I'm not sure what that means.
So this is crazy, you guys.
Is that what
There's nothing better to do.
Peter?
We're just doing our jobs.
So it's okay to go
She
and
is out of town
arrest
right now.
pastors and give them, this documents?
So the best that I can do is say
that's part of our job
I'll
is to
give her the documents,
hand people
or you
documents.
guys
And what was the
send
crime?
them to
Feeding
her.
the
Her name
homeless,
is
right?
Sarah Miller.
Preaching the gospel?
Hello friends, Pastor Peter here today. So I received a phone call this morning from an acting investigator of the Calgary Police Service, and he indicated that the Crown prosecutor has decided to go ahead and charge me with I think it was 126 of the criminal code for holding church. And I explained, I said, we held church outside so that we wouldn't be breaking any of the health restrictions, because as we all know, it's all about the science, and the science indicates that outside is like a zero transmission rate. We couldn't facilitate a proper church function with only 10 people, which was the restriction at the time. So we opted to hold it outside so that everybody was free and clear and we could worship in peace. And there was some police activity around the church on the streets. It's a busy street, but there was no no notification, no issues with the church that I was given notice of at the time. And so I got the phone call, and now today we have 3 squad cars. We probably have 6 police officers and 1 active investigator because of a pastor who wants to hold church for people. He wants to bring the word of God, bring peace, bring hope, bring joy in these times of trouble. This is the Calgary Police Service response to that. Now, the police officers that have been present here have all been very professional, very cordial. I don't believe that they're doing this of their own accord. I think if they had their way, they would much rather be arresting real criminals. So they've given me paperwork that says that I have to show up at court on a certain day and show up for fingerprinting like a criminal. And I was okay with that. But then they asked me to sign conditions, and I'm not a lawyer. I have a lawyer. Her name is Sarah Miller from fightthefines.com. Shout out to Rebel Media on that one. And I says I can't sign these in good conscience because I don't know what they mean. So now they've done a huddle, probably with their superiors, and find out how they can respond to that. And we're going to find out if they arrest me today for refusing to sign to the conditions that they present to me, which I still don't know what they are. And that's where we're at, folks. So we just thank God for this day, for this time. Never has there been a more clear and present danger on the church in Canada than in these times. To hold, we were in active compliance. We were holding church service outside, and we were just doing the best we can in these times. So let's see what the officers have to say. Yes, sir.
Just let you know that the investigator is going to give me a call, and you guys can discuss that condition there. So you should be expecting a phone call on this.
That would be him right there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it on speaker.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Hello again, sir.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm well.
So I was just talking with my colleague there, and I guess he says you have some concerns about the undertaking there.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar. Like I explained to your colleagues, I'm not a lawyer. I have a lawyer.
Certainly.
I spend my time trying to raise kids and read the Bible. So I leave all the legalities up to the lawyer and you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally. So what that is what that condition is it's one that is part and parcel to the QB order, but it's what the Crown dictated how they wanted it done. We didn't come up with that wording. That's what the Crown, who's handling. The province of Alberta has assigned 2 chief Crown prosecutors, assistant chief Crown prosecutors to handle these because they're a little bit dicey, right? There's a lot of unknown territory and stuff like that. So what they've done is when we were going over this with them, this is how we were going to release you and stuff like that. This was a condition that they wanted. And all it's saying is whatever the guidelines are that are in effect by the chief medical officer, we want you to follow that. Because if we don't, the only way we can release you on paper today and not have to take you before a JP is if you agree, okay, I'm going to do that. And I was just suggesting to my colleague that, it might be worth talking to your lawyer about and saying, look, this is what they're telling me to do. They are going to release me, because that's otherwise the guys are going to have to take you down to basically to jail, and you got to go before a JP. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have a bail hearing, and the Crown prosecutor who wants those conditions is going to go before the JP, and the JP is going to say, well, most likely going to say, well, you have to abide by these conditions in the interim, and if you don't, we can't release you. And then you got to stay behind bars until whenever your next trial date is set for. And we don't want to do that. I mean, you got kids, you got a family. Like I said, we're in the middle of this. We're trying to do this and get paper and sort of give you the paperwork so you can deal with it down the road. You're just signing, saying, yeah, I'm going to agree by this condition. And then certainly if you want to talk to your lawyer before that, I think my colleague said your lawyer's out of town. I don't know if there's somebody that's at a firm that can help you, or even legal aid, maybe get some legal advice or something. You're not admitting in signing that, you're not admitting to any fault or anything like that. It's literally just so that we don't have to take you to jail today. Because that's what the Crown has directed us to do. So we're kind of stuck doing their bidding, as it were.
And do you feel that is an acceptable fulfillment of your oaths there, officer?
Sorry?
I said, do you find that to be an acceptable fulfillment of your oaths?
Well, that's what we're sworn to do. So
is it really what you're sworn to do?
What's that?
Is it really what you're sworn to do?
Yes, it is.
Because I have taken oaths myself. And in all presence of all these officers here, maybe you've heard of this group, Police on Guard for Thee. Has anybody heard of that group? And this is a group of police officers in the country who happen to take their oaths very seriously. As a former military personnel, I take those oaths very seriously.
I'm sure you do.
So, do you believe that this is an accurate fulfillment of your oath? Because I find you guilty of breaching that oath, which is accountable to treason.
Peter, I've tried to be reasonable with you, but the bottom line is,
I will phone my lawyer. I will hope to get a hold of her.
Okay.
And we will resolve this in whatever way that she sees fit. If I have to go to jail today, then that's the way we're going to do it. If she has better advice for me, then that's the way we'll do it.
Okay.
I'm just here doing my job, ma'am. That's it.
So you get paid to persecute Christians?
We get paid to do our job, yes. Yep.
For a paycheck.
Shame.
Whether they happen to be Christian or not.
Shame on you. Shame on all of you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Shame on you.
All right, friends, this is Pastor Peter Reicher here. So we've had our legal counsel now with Sarah Miller, and she's advised the best thing that we can do is sign the papers, and she doesn't see any change if they arrest me here today and we have to go before a bail hearing. They're going to give me the same conditions, and so that's what we'll do today under duress, and we'll proceed from here.
Okay, so Peter, right now you're under arrest for displaying your lawful order. You have the right to retain and instruct a lawyer without delay. This means that before I proceed with our investigation, you may call any lawyer you wish or a lawyer from a free legal advice service immediately. If you want to call a lawyer from a free legal advice service, we will provide you with a telephone, and you can call a toll-free number for immediate legal advice. If you wish to contact any other lawyer, telephone and telephone books will be provided to you. If you're charged with an offense, you may apply to legal aid for assistance. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay. Do you want to call a free lawyer or any other lawyer?
I already have legal counsel.
So your copy is exactly the same except for your initials and signature. Served it to you. This is the copy that you sent you.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you guys.
Shame on you guys. Don't forget that.
You know, guys,
It's awful what you do. It's disgusting. You say that you have no better job to do, to go chase criminals?
Oh, we are done here. This is why we came, right? So I appreciate Peter's cooperation. That was fantastic.
And you just, go and obey, right?
Well,
Serve documents and obey. That's the
we do
new...
have a job to do, and this is unfortunately one of the parts of it. So.
And you know what? I realize that.
You know.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you guys, police on guard for thee. You know, the problem is Canada has become communist, and they're using you guys as their stronghold.
Right.
And I think that's atrocious. Okay. And I want you to know that there's like-minded police officers out there. Okay. I would encourage you guys to find it. You know, because you guys need support too.
Yep.
What they're doing to you guys is awful. Can you imagine? We have 3 squad cars, probably 6 officers,
I know, it seems
1 active investigator for a pastor.
Seems a little over.
You guys could have hauled me away to jail today. Imagine the taxpayer.
We did not want to have to do that.
Imagine the
obviously.
taxpayer.
But you were prepared to.
resources, right?
Exactly.
You know,
Could have.
like this is just.
No, you got good points. Definitely.
Just remember,
bless
you have
you.
a family too.
I hope that we have
You need
coffee
to, you know,
on
pray.
better terms one day.
I hope so too.
Okay.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to turn away. Turn away.
This is Canada today, you know. So I have been given a summons, you know. That was the lawyer's advice. She says, listen, you can go to jail today or not, but the end is going to result the same. So she advised that I take the summons. You know, the police officers they sent were professional, courteous. I can't really complain. And there's still one guy blocking my street. I'm not going to comment about that on this time. But this is Canada today. This is communism today in Canada. And that was my comment to them. I said, you guys sent 6 police officers, 3 cruisers, 1 active investigator for a pastor who tried to comply the best as possible with the health orders, brought his congregation outside. We were sitting in gravel so that we wouldn't be perceived as just lawbreakers. And for that, got my summons based on the Rooke order, which doesn't apply to me, but whoever's pulling the strings up there, they're just using this to arrest pastors.
Well, there you have it, folks. Jason Kenney gets a free pass for gathering outside with his buddies, but when Pastor Peter does it with his congregants in Calgary, when they gather outside in an attempt to adhere to these restrictions, they get 3 cop cars showing up at home, harassing them, threatening them with arrest if they won't sign a document that they have not yet presented to Sarah Miller, Pastor Peter's lawyer. As you saw, in order to stay out of jail, Pastor Peter did opt to sign the document. This is a developing story, and we're going to continue to bring you updates as they occur. I want to thank you for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos.
So we thank God. I'm still a free man. But we'll see what happens from here on out. God bless you guys. Keep up the good fight, you know. Thank you, Fight the Fines, rebelnews.com, Sarah Miller. And I want to thank Pastor Arthur Pavlovsky for plowing the way ahead on this. Have a good day, guys.